Hey everybody, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about rolling shutter on the R6 Mark II. Let's go. Okay, so why did I have the newspaper at the start of the video? Well, this is a picture of mine that got the front cover of the sports section of a newspaper here. But the reason why I'm showing you this is because, as we'll see in just a second on Lightroom, there is rolling shutter on the photo and it's evident. Now at first glance you might not notice it, but it is there and I can see it. But maybe for the normal person that won't be as noticeable, but it is there. Now the reason why this picture got the front cover is because, let me explain what was happening there. So imagine two teams playing a game. The very last moments of that game, the goalkeeper of all people decides to go up the field and try to get a shot at goal. He actually managed to get the ball. He managed to kick it, but the other person, the defender, blocked it, and moments after, the referee blew the whistle, and that was that. So very tense moments, and I was lucky enough to be at the right place at the right time and capture that shot. So the sports editor of the newspaper was amazed with the picture. He wanted it for the front cover, so good for me. I got it in there. Now, am I 100% happy with it? No, because I can see the rolling shutter. But did that prevent me from actually getting a sale, so a picture on a newspaper? It didn't. So let's talk about the pros and cons of rolling shutter, how evident it is on the R6, and whether or not it should prevent you from using the electronic shutter. Now, since I did use electronic shutter for that specific sequence, I can show you the sequence right now, and then you tell me if you find something weird or not. You didn't see anything weird? Let me show it to you again. Okay, so obviously in a video you cannot tell how deformed the ball in this specific case is, because the images are going way too fast for the human eye to detect them. But if we go analyze frame by frame, as we will do in just a second, you will be able to see the effects of rolling shutter. So let's get into Lightroom and check that out. Okay, so the play starts here. You can see there's even someone injured at the back being assisted, and in just a few seconds, there we go, there's the goalkeeper out of focus at the edge of the frame, coming up the field to try and get a hold of the ball. Eventually does, and I stopped shooting for a little bit, so when I switched to him, he already has the ball, I believe. There you go. Yeah, he already has. I can't even remember what happened to this guy, but he's on the floor. But there you have it, the goalkeeper with the ball up the field, dying seconds of the game. He's gonna have a go at it. He's gonna shoot, and just look at the focus. It's unbelievable, right? Like, all of this action is so fast, and the R6 just grabs on and sticks like glue. It's just remarkable. Really, really remarkable. All right, we're talking about rolling shutter, so here we go. And there, did you see it? Okay, so this is before the shot, right? So this is the last moment where the ball is completely round, right? As soon as he hits it, there you go. Looks like, I don't know, an egg or something weird. You can even see a little bit of the letters are not completely sharp, but the ball, the shape though, is just, it's nasty, right? It's not circular at all. With a mechanical shutter, this would not happen, obviously. Now, if you keep going, still oval. There's the block, still oval, and I think this was the picture that was used, this one. Yeah, it was. It's getting to be a bit more round. It's still not completely round, but it is getting better. And then it eventually gets off the frame, and there you have it. So, yes, it's amazing to have 40 frames per second. But yeah, you need to take into account that when balls are hit hard, and balls are like this, like not small ones, like so Gaelic football, the chances of them being deformed basketball are higher, right? When they're hit really, really hard. If we're talking about smaller balls, for example, golf, the chances of you noticing with the naked eye the deformation is not as high. But in this case, it is quite evident. Now, did it stop you from selling the photo? No, it didn't, but I wish I could have mechanical shutter for this shot, because then it would be perfect. But needless to say, for the average person, I say they might not even notice that the ball is not completely round. The sharpness, I think everybody will notice. It's just incredible. It really is incredible. So that's just one thing that I am blown away by. The camera is the focusing system is just outstanding. Rolling shutter, yeah, it's there. And now let's show you guys a second example, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, and this second example is a free, so straight up, no movement. I'm not tracking from left to right, so you know, vertical things are not going to be slanted like you would if you were tracking from left to right or right to left. There's a chance with rolling shutter that the vertical post would be slightly slanted. So this is not the case because it's head on. But again, you know, the ball is nice and round, and let me just show you. Okay, this is before it gets hit, and I think you can see it with your naked eye, but I'm gonna zoom in just to give you, you know, a better look at it, and you can see it's very oval. Okay, so this is before and this is after. You can even see a little bit of the letters not being quite defined. Everything else is quite sharp, and it continues to be oval, and again and again, and now it starts to get a little better, and eventually it gets off the frame. But again, it's that thing that you need to judge whether or not it's worth it to use electronic shutter because of the effects that you will have using the electronic shutter. So is it worth it, the rolling shutter, or not? It's up to you. Also keep in mind, if you look at the folder in Lightroom that you see right now, it has 4,500 pictures. It's not a lot of fun to cull that many images, not to mention the space. And you can argue, yes, but space, you can always get more hard drives, or space is cheap these days, or you can just delete the pictures that don't matter. That's all fine. But if you look at from a time perspective, the amount of time that you'll be going through all of those images, you need to understand and figure out whether that's worth it or not to take that many pictures. Now, if it were for me, if I could pick, to be honest, I would rather have, say, I don't know, 20 frames per second instead of 40, but have no warped balls or no deformations whatsoever, right? If I could have an effect or a performance, let's say, that I get with the mechanical shutter on the electronic shutter, that would be the best, right? The best of both worlds. At the moment, that's not possible, so I will most likely be using most of the time the mechanical shutter. But obviously, for certain situations, and I'm still learning, I will be using the electronic shutter because it can be very useful. Don't get me wrong. From 12 frames per second to 40, the probability of me having a better moment, if there are no deformations on the balls, etc., are much higher, right? But if I am tracking moving objects, people, which I am most of the time, the chances of there being rolling shutter with the electronic shutter are very, very high. So is it worth it? That is up for you to decide, but there you have it, a few examples for you to look at and discuss. Now, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Until next time, take it easy, guys. Stay safe.